Hello there, Lake County Library. This is Christy Lewis from the Lakeport branch, and today I'm bringing to you a book haul of brand new suspense, supernatural, and science fiction. If you'd like to order any of these for free, you can do so down below. I'll have the library catalog linked as well as the titles and author names listed, so you can just copy and paste them directly into the catalog. And we also have linked down below our library website, which has all kinds of really cool free digital resources, so definitely check that out if you're at all interested in ebooks or audiobooks or classes or magazines. There's all kinds of cool crafting tutorials. You can learn pretty much everything if you just go to our digital resources. Anything that you want to learn, languages, it's all there, so definitely check it out. Let's jump into the haul. We're gonna kick it off with Countdown to Midnight by Dale Brown. This is a thriller, and it's a sequel to his New York Times bestselling Arctic Storm series. It follows a former US Air Force officer named Nick Flynn, who has just been employed by a very mysterious, shadowy intelligence outfit whose roots actually goes back all the way to the Cold War. But his first mission nearly becomes his last when he is nearly ambushed and killed when he's trying to meet a high-ranking Iranian dissident in the Austrian Alps. But he does learn one very important thing, and that is that Iran and Russia are collaborating on this secret project Midnight. And he is just determined to unravel their plans. He knows that there is some kind of dangerous weapon that Russia is trying to deploy against the US, and he's just determined to stop it. Unfortunately, there are some veterans of the Russian special forces and intelligence services after him, and it's going to be a race against time for him to stop this nefarious plan from taking place. If Countdown to Midnight sounds good to you, you can order it for free down below. It was published by William and Morrow in 2022, and it's also available on ebook, audiobook, and in large type. Next, we have Family of Liars by E. Lockhart, which is the sequel to the best-selling TikTok phenom We Were Liars by the same author. It's a young adult kind of thriller mystery. I really don't know what it's about. The whole point of it is that it's a total secret. There's just not much descriptive information out there. Literally, the synopsis says, if your friends ask you how it ends, just lie. Because the whole premise of this book is, I think that there's 4 friends, they're on a private island, and there's a bunch of lying that happens and lots of secrets. The first book is called We Were Liars, so this second book is looking at a whole family of liars, and I think it's following some of the same characters. So if that sounds good to you, you can order it for free down below. Family of Liars is also available on ebook and audiobook, and it was published by Delacorte Press in 2022. Next, we have Cackle by Rachel Harrison. Cackle is described as darkly funny and disturbing and frightening, and I think there may be an element of fantasy to this one as well. So we are following Annie, who is just seeking a fresh start after her longtime boyfriend just dumped her. So she accepts a teaching position that moves her from Manhattan to a very small, picturesque, and seemingly perfect little village upstate. And the only real downside that she has noticed is that her new apartment has an oddly persistent spider infestation, which is kind of gross. But then she meets the beautiful, charming, and magnetic Sophie, who takes a special interest in Annie and wants to be her friend. Sophie really wants to help Annie stop apologizing and living on the safe side. She wants her to start really living for herself. And Annie is just really drawn to Sophie, but the rest of the town seems somehow frightened of her. So that seems kind of mysterious, and I'm very intrigued. If you are intrigued, you can order it for free down below. Cackle is also available in ebook and audiobook formats, and it was published by Berkeley in 2021. Next, we have Souls of Lost Lake by Jaime Jo Wright. This sounds like a mystery with possibly 2 timelines, one being from the perspective of a cold case from somebody who was involved in a cold case in the 1930s, and then a present day timeline. And I think there's also a twist of spirituality. It's mentioned in a starred book review by Booklist. Booklist says, Jaime Jo Wright has proven time and time again with her masterful storytelling that she is a trailblazer in the niche genre combining horror, intrigue, and spirituality. That sounds just so interesting to me. And the publisher is Bethany House Publishers, so that also indicates some level of spirituality. So the first timeline that we're following is Wren Blythe, who has long lived in the Northwoods of Wisconsin, helping her father with his youth ministry at a camp. But when a little girl in the area goes missing, an all-out search ensues, reviving the decades-old campfire story of Ava Coons, the murderess who is believed to still roam the forest. So joining the search, Ren stumbles across the ruins of the Coons' old cabin and a sinister mystery that she is determined to uncover. And then the next part of this summary ends up following Ava Coons, off in 1930. Ava Coons has spent the last several years carrying the mantle of mystery of the death of her family. She emerged from the woods as this 13-year-old having no memory of what had happened, but she was covered in blood and she was dragging a logger's axe. She has accepted that she will never remember what happened to her family, whose bodies were never found, and that the people of Tempter's Creek will always blame her for their violent death. And then when another member of the town is murdered and another goes missing, rumors start flying all over the place. So these two women, separated by time, must confront a wickedness that not only challenges who they are, but also threatens their lives and the lives of those they love most. I'm so intrigued by this. And if you're intrigued by this, you can order it for free down below. Souls of Last Lake is also available on ebook, and it was published by Bethany in 2022. And finally, we have a book called The Ice Ghost by Kathleen O'Neill, which is what's known as a cli-fi novel, which basically means it takes climate science into the science fiction mix. And this is actually book 2 in the Rewilding Reports series. So we're gonna go look at book 1 because the premise behind these stories is kind of wild, and I really think that you need book 1's premise in order to understand what's happening in book 2. The Ice Lion is book 1, and it's set 1,000 years into the future, where the Zyme, a thick blanket of luminous green slime, covers the ocean, and glaciers 3 miles high rise above the continents. The old stories say that when the Gemin, the godlike humans who lived long ago, discovered that their efforts to halt global warming had gone wildly wrong, they recreated the species that had survived the worst ice ages on Earth. So now we're back in the future. So 16-year-old Lynx and his best friend Quiller are members of the Sea Lion people, archaic humans known as Denisovans. They live in a world that is growing colder, and they're hunted by monstrous predators. When they flee to a new land, they actually meet an old man who is rumored to be the last of the Gemin. Or maybe it's Yemen? I'm not sure how J is pronounced in fantasy world. Sometimes it ends up as Y instead of J. He tells the Lynx that the only way he can save his world is by sacrificing himself to the last true god, a quantum computer named Quansi. Now, this is such an interesting premise of a setting, and if it sounds good to you, you can order for free down below. The Ice Ghost book 2 is also available on ebook, and it was published by DAW in 2022. That is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this book haul. I hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure to let us know down below if you ordered any of these or if you have any questions, because we really love to hear from you, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye!